Hi, my name is Matthew, and I'm going to be presenting the Mayans civilization. First, a brief history. The Mayans occupied an eastern third of Mesoamerica, primarily the Yucatan Peninsula, like is shown in the picture below. The Mayans had many gods, which had to do with the stars and celestial cycles of the earth. The first is the Temple of Kukulkan. The temple Kukulkan was a god who they represented as a feathered snake. He was the god of the sun. The temple was also a temple, and it was also built as an observatory to observe the flight track of the sun. These people watched the skies and the stars so much that many of their buildings are placed in very specific and very identifiable places. The main beautiful thing about this building that hundreds of people come to see only twice a year on the equinoxes is when the sun sets. When the sun sets, it creates a light on the building and a shadow that forms the body of a snake, and as the sun goes lower and lower, it moves it back and forth, showing as though the snake is climbing, and it's climbing up to the heavens, as they would have believed. The next thing I want to talk about is El Caracol. El Caracol is built to the north of Temple Kukulkan. There's three main mysteries behind this structure. The first mystery is that the sides don't face the four cardinal directions. Instead, they are rotated 27.5 degrees. The answer to this question is because it faces where the planet Venus sets. So what they did, they wanted to follow Venus, which also has to do with their gods. The second is, why did they make the top building over here round, like many of our observatories today? The answer was simple and logical. What they wanted to be able to easily track the movements of Venus without being constricted to a square building. The third is that the four corners of the base of this structure here is not in perfect square. The reason to this is because they wanted the corners to face north and south, which is very interesting and advanced. Lastly, I want to talk about the Mayan calendars. The Mayans were very engaged with calendars. For example, the temple I mentioned above had exactly 91 steps on each face. When you add them all together and add the top layer of the whole building, you get 365, which is, of course, as you know, the number of days in a year. I know, cool and freaky. They had three different calendars that they invented: the long count, the tzolkin, and the hab. The long count calendar identifies a day by counting the number of days passed since a mythical creation date. The long count calendar was widely used for monuments. The tzolkin calendar is the sacred moon calendar of the Mayans. It connected the energy of heaven with earth, so that what occurs above is reflected below. So the second calendar has to do with God and has to do with their religion. The Hab calendar is the solar calendar. The calendar is similar to ours, which it has approximately 365 days. It consists, however, of 18 months of 20 days each, with an extra shortened 5-day month at the end. This secular calendar is traditionally associated with the cycles of the rain, agriculture, and harvesting. When combined, these calendars form sort of a master calendar, which I have over here, with a bunch of symbols and letters and shapes that all correspond to each other and all make up the 365 days a year. The reason that we believe the world will end is because the Mayan calendar ends, which is quite extraordinary. Well, thank you very much for listening.